Welcome to the Dope Dad Podcast. This is an unscripted journey for those who are invested in parenting. There's no judgment, there's no BS, just honest conversation about what it really means to be a dad today. It's raw, it's real, and it's unapologetically dope. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. This is the Dope Dad Podcast. I'm your host, OJ. We're at Podworks Studios out in Mesa, Arizona. Shout out to Bill, my producer. Thank you, bro. Thanks for letting me do the restart too, man. Today's huge for me, man. You can see I got a lineup of booze out here. Can we run this table and check this out? And I've got the maker of the wine and my close homeboy, Wesam in the house. What's up, dude?
Sir, what's going on, brother? Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. We made it. You're here.
Finally.
Dog, we got some history.
Yes, we do. And
this is a long time coming.
Too long.
Yeah, dog. So you're here. You brought wine. You got your own glass of juice over here, man. You're a father. You're a husband.
Proudly.
We got so much shit to talk about, bro.
Yes, we do.
We got so much. You want to start with the wine? You want to get into a little bit of your brand? You want to get into some vino? You want to catch up about parenting? Start from the beginning of how long we've known each other? Fuck, how many years have we known each other?
I think that would be a good place to start. Yeah, let's start there. I think, how long have we known each other? We've known each other, I would say, since March 2013, I believe.
Damn.
Fuck. 12 years.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. And
you know what's also crazy? I just had Nate on here. You know Nate, right?
Yeah.
Dude, we've known each other for 30 years.
Wow.
That was nuts.
That is nuts.
That was like a crazy number to like look over. I'm like, yo, the math checks out, bro.
Yeah.
But 12 years, dude.
Yeah.
That's bananas. And so we met in the hospitality industry where wine was kind of such a heavy part of our life. And coincidentally, like, I don't even think I drank at that time. I'm 15 years sober, bro. So we've never had a drink together.
We have not. And I'm totally okay with that. Because, you know, I'm not ashamed to say that, like, many people I consider colleagues. I still consider you like a older brother, a mentor, a friend. And throughout our time together, I know that this is one of your vices, and that is fine because you taught me the great lesson that this is but a thread in the tool to display hospitality. I'm not, you know, a spirit expert, but I'm proficient in it. I'm not a wine expert, but I'm proficient in it. I understand food very well, but the summation of bringing all that together helps us do our job better.
Yeah.
Helps us paint a better picture.
That's beautiful, man. I love your perspective on hospitality and food and beverage. I know that you started your hospitality journey, like you went to culinary school. You practiced the art of cooking and different cooking techniques and found yourself in the front of the house, you know, in admiration and a skill in the back of the house. Again, kind of like increasing your proficiency. But tableside, man, like, you're pretty unrivaled, man. I can't think of many people that apply themselves to master their craft with such like vigorous intent the way that you do. It's super admirable, man. And obviously your quest continues. You're still in hospitality. Now you're the GM of a very, you know, prestigious established venue. You're a winemaker now. I mean, you've done pretty much everything. You're on your way to Master Sommelier certification. Right now you're an advanced sommelier.
Yep.
So for people out there who have no idea what the fuck that means, what does that mean?
So there is many certifications you can attain through wine. However, becoming a sommelier, whether it be through the American or European chapter, it is a court of people that kind of take you along the process, kind of like a bachelor's degree. It's insanely hard certification to acquire. More people have been to space than have passed this test. And throughout attaining that, it's easily one of the most prestigious certifications that you can attain through in the world of beverage, in the world of hospitality. So
that's huge, bro.
It is. And it pertains to service, you know, and that's why I want that one, because I can't see myself doing anything other than this, other than serving. And that evolves over time, but, you know, it's really cool to commit yourself to a noteworthy, worthwhile cause.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And whether I achieve it or not, becoming capable of achieving it, stepping in the arena that matters. To me, that matters. I know I'm going to get beat up. I've taken the MS exam before, and I knew I was going to fail. That didn't stop me from trying.
Yeah.
If you know you're going to get beat up, at least to know how you're going to get beat up, it helps. It's something. It's not nothing.
Well, and you learn from it too, man. I remember talking to you like relatively recent about taking another MS certification course, and you're like, yeah, dude, like I have to continue to prepare to potentially fail again, but you're going to do it.
And to me, I think it mostly matters for everyone to understand how to view failure. I don't view failure as a I'm less than or I've fallen short. I just see it as a way to temper my expectations and how to better set my sails to find whatever marker I'm striving for. That's it.
You apply that to the rest of life, you think? Or mostly to this particular category?
You know, I wish I did. I unfortunately have always put in all my baskets in one thing because I've identified my worth and value as a man as not only as being a provider, but as being accomplished in one area of my life. And so I try to apply that into many things, but I'm so stubborn and so like foolish in my endeavors. And I'm so arrogant because I have the naivety of belief. I genuinely believe that if anyone else can do it, then why can't I? And I'm relentless in that.
I don't think that's a naive perspective by any means. I think that's a strength, bro. And you can turn that strength into a superpower. I love the fact that failure is not an option for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
That's super admirable, man.
Yeah, but dude, I got to tell you from the outside looking in, watching the way you lead and watching the way you parent has been inspiring for me for a long time, because sometimes the birds and the bees, they don't come together. I mean, and what I mean by that is my wife and I became a family through a great deal of intention. It wasn't like, oh, we're going to go on our honeymoon and things happen. No, we went through multiple rounds of IUI and IVF, and it became a conscious choice and a decision to say that if we have a family, if we become a family, it's because we want it. And we had to test the limits of how bad we wanted something to get there.
Yeah.
And for us, that was so meaningful when it finally happened, because I did some, but I basically endured the emotional brunt of being the source of confidence for my wife to keep taking those next steps. Because like a like a champion, she took shots among shots among shots. And without the worry of like, is this going to happen or will this be? She just went through those motions, and I had to continually be her support rock and her emotional stability throughout that. And dude, not easy by any stretch of the imagination. But I think at the end, it brought us closer as a family. So. Yeah, but it's not all fucking sunshine and rainbows.
Doug, it was a journey. I remember talking to you through so many different, call them pit stops on your journey, man, to becoming a parent. And it's fucking defeating. It's defeating, right? Yeah, it starts to become overwhelming. It starts to consume. I guess you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, you know? And also I think, dude, it's tough too for a guy, like when you have to switch your role in the relationship, right? And you become like a cheerleader and like you're saying, like just the support, because a lot of that shit's out of your hands. And so all you can do is be a positive support and like a pillar to lean on and kind of like hoorah from the sidelines. And I think that for a lot of dudes feels kind of foreign, because we're used to like get out of the way, I'm going to get shit done. But you can't.
Nope.
Right? Like you do. Nope. You're a sitting duck.
Yeah. And it's a wild thing to imagine, like, I'm a man, my body should perform this way. She's a woman, her body should perform this way. But if you take a look at it through like multiple decades now, even more than that, the reproductive like growth has slowed down more and more and more. It's not just me. IVF is a thing for a reason, and
for sure.
I'm grateful that we live in this day and age that that is able to happen and become a thing. But I got to tell you, man, I am so smitten and in love. And as much as it costs, like it's a cost that can be dealt with one way or another, but she is worth every penny and then some. And knowing that end result, finally wanting something and being able to achieve it, bro, well, that is what life is about.
Yeah, bro, you're a dad.
I'm a fucking proud dad. I'm
Hell
a very
yeah.
proud dad. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about Shorty. How old is she?
She's now almost 15 months. Almost 15 months.
That's wild. And what's happening at 15 months?
She is walking freely, can count to 10.
So she's already more advanced than you.
By far.
That's
by
crazy.
far.
Yeah.
Prior to coming here, within an hour, I'm rocking her to sleep. And as I'm rocking her to sleep, she gets on her knees while she's still on my lap and looks at me and kisses me. And I almost melted. Like that just made my whole day worth like living.
Yeah. What problems?
What problems? Exactly. What problems? And like from the moment I heard her first breath, her first cry, I was like, I will die for you right now. And I would kill for you right now as well. And it's crazy. I don't mean to sound like selfish in any which way. Like I love Sarah to death. And that's my woman. That's my fucking queen. But I would hold her body up as a shield to protect Layla, and as she would me. You know what I mean?
It's a different kind of love, man.
It totally
you know what's
is.
crazy? So when Marcia and I were pregnant, bro, we had we went through like just repeated barrage of miscarriages, which was just fucking awful. So I think that like never left my mind that at some point in time somebody was just gonna come and be like, hey, you actually aren't getting this. Like we're taking this kiddo. And so I like always had this fear, and I never talked to Marcia about it until like a year ago. That when she went into labor, the doctor was going to say, hey, we can only save one of them. Like I kept having this like in my fucking head. And I don't know, it was like this weird like self-torture thing. Because in my mind, I'm like, I have to be prepared for this. I have to be prepared to identify like what's going to happen here. Like, what do I choose? How would one choose? Do you get to fucking choose? In my mind, like over and over and over again, dude, like, it was always my wife. Like it was always my wife, just because we've been through so much together. And I'm like, yo, like we can try again. You know what I mean? Like what would a father possibly do with a newborn without the mom? Like where the fuck would you even pick up the parts? Like where would you even pick up the parts, bro? What do you do?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fathom that.
And people go through that. You know what I mean?
All
like
the
not
time.
obviously not nearly as much now as, you know, prior to, you know, the modern medicine, but damn, dude, like I can't even imagine what some people have had to deal with.
No.
So from, you know, the you know, unfortunate, you know, circumstances of a miscarriage to not being able to conceive as easily. I mean, here we are, dude, and we both made it out victorious, man, and we have beautiful little girls.
Hell
man.
yeah,
How
you
crazy.
did.
I know so many dads that have daughters, man. That's like kind of like what was like a foundation for this thing. I'm like, dude, there's so many dads out here that I know that have little girls. Dude, it's amazing.
It's incredible. I love it. I would love to have a boy as well if I have a boy, but what I care about most is just having a healthy kid.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would make you want a boy? For what reasons would you want a son?
It's not to carry on my legacy. I don't give a shit about that. You, me, Bill, we're all going to be gone, you know, and forgotten in 100 years or so. It just doesn't matter. But to have a son, it would be fun to just have a different perspective of a set of eyes, of another, like when people tell you about the perspective of time, it doesn't really click until you have something to live for. And having a child gave me something to live for. And I never want to take that for granted. Now, the irony in all of this is simply that you have to work to have the things that you have, but you don't want to work because all you want to do is be with your child and be like, I love you. I love that you're seeing and smelling and feeling and appreciating all these things for the first time. You know, my daughter says a lot. And one of the things that quickly rolls off of her tongue is, what's that? What's that? What's that? Soon that's not going to be a thing. Soon she's going to know what that is. And just to be able to be there and give her that unconditional love and perspective. And that's just everything.
That's a cool phase.
Yeah.
It's like the hero phase when they look to you for all answers and you have all answers. Mm-hmm. It's not like later on in life when there's
I don't look forward to
heartbreak or disappointment. They ask for answers and you're like, that's puzzled mathematicians for centuries, bro. There is no answer.
Right.
That's called life.
Right. And man, it's funny I'm on this podcast as a parent because I still feel like I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And
yeah, and that's parenting
let's
right
go.
there, bro.
Let's go.
That's fucking parenting,
Let's
right?
go.
Man, if that just doesn't all right, podcast over, man. That just kind of wrapped it up.
There we go.
Yeah, close the season.
But
that's honestly, dude, like we're all trying to find our way.
Yeah.
Right? The thing that I like about most of the people that I talk to about parenting and the people that I've brought on the show is that they're excited about being a better parent, right? Is that they're like actively pursuing being a more effective part of their children's life, being a better parent, not just saying like, well, this is the way that I am and this is the way I'll always be. Who are like trying to evolve and change and be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
For their kids, right?
Totally.
Because we come from a different generation, bro. Like our parents didn't parent that way.
Right. And oftentimes you learn from what someone says, but also what they didn't say or what they didn't do.
Oh, yeah.
And you try to like make up for that. And then you realize that you're in this big influential position to download all your shit onto, this little human being. But they're like, hold up. I want to let you watch this movie and I'll let you play it out. I don't want to give you my perspective because my perspective is so calloused. It's so jaded. Like, I will let you see it. And if you want to come to me for help, I'm here for you. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I like that perspective a lot. I think a lot of people push their, beliefs on their kids from a pretty early age. In this family, this is what we believe. This is what we do. This is what we think. And I see the value behind that. But also I feel like that doesn't give the child an opportunity to really like blossom and find their own way. And so there's been a lot of questions where the girls are like, hey, Dad, what do you think about this? And I'm like, that's some personal shit. I'm not telling you nothing. You got to gather the details, do the intel, do the recon, find out, come to your own conclusion. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation
I
about
love that so much. So in this role that I currently have at my job, a lot of people are shocked that I'm not over their shoulder and I'm not watching every step, every minute, every point of what they do. I would rather teach an ideology, a philosophy of think on your own. These are my standards. This is what I expect. And I want you to be an independent thinker. I don't want you to regurgitate a script because it's so crucial in those small moments to be able to weigh those decisions. That's what you hope for. You don't want someone who, will crumble under that pressure. So you have to give them those endless opportunities to be able to go out and explore and to a certain degree of risk. Because as you and I discussed the other day, like that's what we're preparing them for, Yeah.
It's interesting because most of the people that you're so-called parenting are adults, right? Right? The difference between parenting adults and parenting children is astronomical because children are like cool and easy to influence and parent, and adults are stubborn and mean and opinionated.
100%.
Hard to work with.
Yeah.
People stuck in their ways.
They certainly are.
Yeah, it's tough. Dude, how do you see your wife now? I think that's like one of the coolest fucking things is that when you're in a relationship with somebody and you view them through this lens, right? Like there's a perception of who your wife or your girlfriend or your husband is or whatever the case may be. And then they become a parent. And it's like, it like unlocks this fucking God mode. And you get to see a whole different side of them that you never saw before, right? Whether it's like nurturing or, empathy or kindness or playfulness. Kids bring something out in you that most people didn't know that they possess. And sometimes you don't see it in your partner until it happens. Have you noticed that? Is that something that like struck you?
Man, it in many ways, but this conversation might go in a route that you may not expect it to.
Bro, you better be very cautious right now, my friend.
No,
No, I'm just playing.
She is so incredible. You know, oftentimes women are born and built to become a mom. That's why babies are given baby dolls to play with. And I can't tell you that everyone that ever knew Sarah knew her to be someone who was like, you're going to be a great mother. And she really is. And she's nurturing, she is caring, she is thoughtful, she's considerate. And why I made the statement that I did is like, I think the thing in the last 15 months that I never thought to consider was all those like endorphins of like being loved and feeling safe and being the number one person. They shifted from me and they went to this child. And in a very selfish way, I wasn't ready for that. I was like, when are we going on a date, or when are we hitting these sheets? Like, and I'm just being real with you. I'm just being dead ass honest. Like, and it's like, after you haven't slept for 2 days, and that's another thing. People are like, oh, get ready to not sleep. I'm like, I'm a degenerate. Like, yeah, of course. Like I'm always ready to not sleep. But you're not ready to not sleep while making sure another human being is still breathing, is still alive.
Yeah, dude.
You know, that's the other thing that doesn't go into consideration. So understanding compromises between one another, and then appreciating people for what they have to offer and really what they bring to the table, to me is so valuable. And life evolves. And when you choose your partner, you know, choose wisely. Because out of 8.2 some odd billion people on this earth, that's the person you said you're going to rock with. That's the person you said that's your ride or die. And to learn your ebbs and flows and how to argue and how to better appreciate one another, that I think that's something.
You get to argue?
I get to listen.
Yeah, you do.
I get to listen.
Yeah, you do.
So, yeah.
It's it honestly, like, I think that's something that I felt as well, right? You feel, I don't want to say like by any means abandoned, but during the first like almost year of an infant's life, it's really hard for the dude to connect with a baby. Like it's a little ass baby.
Totally.
Like you can talk and they don't say shit. They look at you and that's like pure magic. But I mean, as far as like overall stimulation, there's not much that a dude can do.
Right.
Right. And maybe there's times you can do bottles, you can do diaper changes and shit, but that's kind of it. You're like walking around holding the kiddo, right? But she's like able to connect on some much deeper shit. And you're like, yo, what is going on right now? You guys have like this cool connection, this inside joke. Like there's something going on there that I'm not a part of. So yeah, I think it's normal to feel like you're just a backwaiter to,
and that's fine.
this you know, newborn child
right.
and this woman.
But it's incredible. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like there's people in my life and there's things going on and there's all this that I'm trying to do with the wine, with my job, with all of that, but none of it comes close to comparing to what I'm trying to do for my family. And that's really, truly, that's it. That's it. That's all in this world that matters to me. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. That's, holy shit, man. It's crazy how quickly your perspective changes, isn't it?
It is.
Like
because
that, right?
you knew single Sam. You knew, but dude, I love working. I love working. I love my job. I love what I do. And people often credit me with being a very passionate person. And I learned to become a passionate person. Passion is built. It's not found. It's built. And man, I and learning about becoming a father, there's no greater satisfaction. I truly believe that. And Yeah, and learning to become a better father is something I greatly covet. I appreciate the time I have with my family, and yeah.
It's tough, man. The learning to be a better father and just a better husband, a better all of these things. Man, it's some humbling shit when you realize how bad you fuck up. And oftentimes you don't realize how bad you fucked up till you've already done it and the damage is done and there's no like stopping it dead track. So it's tough, man. There's, Bill and I talk about it with people here, man. There's a lot of failures in being a pops, and some pretty humbling, humiliating shit that I think a lot of people are kind of like reluctant to share because people want to throw out all the fabulous shit, but being a pops is tough, man. And I know that you've confided in me, man, like you lost your pops late teens, ?
2005. November 1st, 2005.
Damn, that's a 20-year today, or this year.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
How old were you?
Fucking 20 years ago, so 18.
18.
Wait, yeah.
Yeah,
18.
Math. Pay no attention. It has nothing to do with the wine.
Yeah.
Math.
Yes.
Damn. So,
yeah.
So do you feel like you try to emulate or take what you remember from your dad as a parent and apply it to the way that you parent now, or the opposite?
Hell no. Hell no. No.
Why is that like, that's such a common theme for so many people too, right? Like to know how to parent, you're like, just don't do what your parents did, bro.
Yeah. I don't know why that's
I feel like a lot of people say that.
Oh, fuck. Am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah.
You're fine. Okay, great.
Yeah. No
Great.
cussing, but drink away.
Yeah. Thanks. My dad was great. I think I inherited his work ethic.
Would you say work ethic or work addiction?
Probably work addiction.
You know what's crazy? A lot of people don't realize how damaging being a work addict can be. And before I go off on that, there is a reality that in 2025, like you need to work your ass off if you want to even buy shit at Walmart.
Totally.
Like you want to keep your head above water, bro, you better be fucking grinding.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a single
income household.
Get out of here with
bro,
that.
No.
Stop.
No. Yeah, TV,
Yeah.
fuck that whole image up. But the reality is, man, like you have to grind and you have to work, right? And sometimes, there's been times in my marriage where my wife's like, yo, you're working a lot. You're working too much. Or like, dude, the breaker for me was when she told me she felt like a single mom. But that's like some whole other shit, I'm like, man, I really need to check myself. But the reality is you like shiny shit, right?
Right.
You like a house, like you want the pool, the things, like they all cost money. And granted, she grinds for it as well. I'm not putting her on blast, like she's amazing. But the reality is work can be an addiction. And it's just like any other addiction. Because if you cater too much to that addiction, you're neglecting other things or you're damaging other things.
Right.
Such as a relationship with a child, such as a relationship with a spouse, or relationship with friends or family or anything in between, which I see people do it all the time, and they don't associate it as like a negative. They're like, yo, I'm working my ass off. I'm a hard worker. I'm like, but it comes at a cost. Whether you know it or not, like it comes at a fucking cost.
It all does. It all does. Yeah. I lost my train of thought.
Oh, no, circle back. So we were talking about your pops, and you said that you felt like, he worked a lot. You inherited his work ethic. And
I inherited a lot of things from my dad. When I said hell no, I mean no offense to my dad. He gave his life for us to have a better one. And from what I have heard or understand or believe to be true, is like, your parents, your dad in particular, is the only one that wants you to do better than them.
I heard that actually recently, like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Is that your dad's the only man that you'll ever meet in your life that wants you to be better and more successful than him.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's true or not, because I feel like I've got like a lot of support in my corner. But my pops is humble as fuck. He's super reserved and like very intelligent and very humble. I hated my dad for a long time. I didn't have like all the information, but like I really hated him when my mom and dad got divorced, bro. I like turned my back on him. I was such a little motherfucker. I was a kid, right?
Right.
Trying to make adult decisions for myself. Anyways, I hated him until I became him. And ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
Right? The person that
That's
you
the
like
unfortunate truth.
you don't want to be like.
Yeah.
And you end up like doing everything you can to be different. And you look in the mirror one day and I'm like, holy shit.
Dude, it's terrible.
Holy shit.
You're a Xerox photocopy. You don't even realize it. It's, yeah. And you're like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I inherited a lot of his, positive attributes, but some of the stuff, man, like my lack of patience, dude, my quick temper, my just unforgiving, out of nowhere rage to irrational situations, where like I feel myself overreact. And that's where my wife comes through. She like checks my shit. She's like, bro, calm down. They're kids, right? But like, oh man, it's tough.
Yes, but also you married a Mexican as well as I did, and they're spicy. They are spicy.
Yeah, indeed they are. Indeed. Is your family, like her family and your family, involved in the kiddos' life? Are they around all the time?
Very much so. I mean, my family in Havasu came down not too long ago to visit, and I'm very grateful that Sarah's family lives nearby and can often babysit or just take care of Layla whenever need be.
Yeah.
We're about to go to a wedding in June, and this will be the first time that we leave Layla and go on a vacation.
No way.
By ourselves. I'm secretly mortified of this.
Oh, yeah. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
How long are you guys going to be gone?
3 days.
Damn.
We're going to Sonoma.
Damn.
And it's going to be great.
It'll be awesome.
Be a lot of fun, yeah.
It'll be a challenge not to have all of your conversation about her and to like unplug and enjoy each other's company. Because, I mean, that's the biggest thing going on in your guys' life, right? Like,
it really is.
She's always going to be tough and stuff.
Yeah.
It's tough. I still, I mean, dude, Carradin's 17 now, about to be 17.
And drives.
G's almost 14. Krish is almost 12, dude.
Wow.
And when Mars and I go out, like the kids are still like a huge topic of discussion.
Right.
Now we're finally starting to be like, all right, dude, like we need to focus on us and switch it up. But it's tough, dude, because it's the biggest thing happening in your life.
Yeah. In all honesty, and I'm being very sincere for those of you who are not watching this podcast, you haven't aged a day. You look fucking great.
Really?
You really do. Yeah.
Bro. Yeah. Hey, I needed to hear that today, man. This fucking belly.
Truly.
I needed to hear that too, because I was bitching
seriously.
when I sat down in the seat too.
Yeah, no,
it's the
truly.
fucking camera angles.
Yeah. No, you look good, buddy.
It's the camera angles, bro. Thanks, man. Yeah, dude. Honestly, like stopping smoking, stopping drinking, and trying to be more conscious about what I'm putting in my body, bro. Like, I'm halfway to 90, bro.
That's crazy.
Trip off that like 45 next month.
Yeah.
And the reality is, man, my life's probably half over. Because if I lived to 90, that'd be a great fucking life. Please let me live to 90, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I want to live to 90.
Yeah,
I want to be like this dope ass grandpa. After Dope Dad
You
podcast
would be.
comes Dope Granddad
Let's
podcast,
go!
bro. This shit's gonna be
Let's
legit.
go!
I'm gonna have my grandkids in here
That'd
climbing
be
on
great.
shit. And,
that would be so cool.
dude, I'm fucking pumped. But I don't know. I guess it's this time of life where I'm like, man, what am I doing? How do I want to spend the next half of my life? You know what I mean? I start to like view things differently. Like when my kids want to kick it, I'm like, yeah, bro, pile in, because that time's limited, bro. That window's getting smaller and smaller.
You have no idea. Yeah, it really is.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't want that shit to happen.
No, I mean, we don't want it to happen. It's going to happen.
I was talking to my mom like 2 weeks ago, and she was saying that when I told her I was moving out for the first time, because I moved out like pretty early. I think I was like 17. I might have been like late 16, but like early 17.
Sure.
And I told her I was going to move somewhere, and she just like sat on the bed and cried. And she said that I left and I like meandered about the house, and I came back in and she was still sitting on the bed crying. And it like came back to me. I'm like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think much of it at the time. I was just like, come on, man. Like, I'm just going down the block. Like, I literally, I'm living in the same city, dude.
Yeah,
like, I'm going to be chilling with my boys.
Right.
If any of my kids told me that they were moving out, I would be broken. Fucking panic mode.
Ah, man.
Panic mode.
I mean, I guess it depends on the circumstance. It just depends on the circumstance. I don't know. I can't. It's too far away to consider. It's just too far away to consider, but I can't think about that yet.
But that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, kids ain't possessions, dude. They're supposed to flourish. They're supposed to get out and mob and do their thing and be courageous and take risks and blaze their fucking trail and find their path. That's what we're hoping for. That's what we're prepping them for, right?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
roll with me. Learn how to move about in this world. Learn who to partner with. Learn who to stay away from. When to throw your trust out there. When to reel it back in. How to make sound decisions. Be aware of your surroundings. Like all of these things, right? Like when to go all in and when to be reserved, and you just hope that they apply it later on in life. And at some point in time, they're gonna say, "All right, dude, like I'm ready. I'm gonna go test it out." And you just get like you can sit there on the dock and like watch them like mob
eat
off.
some
You're like,
popcorn.
all right,
come
man.
on.
Like here we go.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Yeah.
You know?
Has Krisha expressed interest in like a college she wants to go to? Does she have personal, like unique hobbies that she wants to further pursue that you're closer?
All three of the kids are
into?
like on their own different paths, which is
Yeah.
like pretty interesting as well. But Carradine is the one that's going to be a senior next year.
Right.
And then, I don't know, man. I think she feels pressured by society and shit, you know, where it's like after high school, you go to college and you get this degree and you do this, that, and the other thing. And so I think she's feeling like unnecessary pressure to like figure her whole life out in the next, 8 months.
Right.
And she's not ready, bro. She ain't there yet.
That's fine.
It's totally fucking okay,
yeah.
bro, because that's not how the world works.
100%.
If you told me what you wanted to do at 18 versus what you're doing now, it'd
Right.
probably be a completely different book.
1,000%.
So, and it's the same thing for me, man. Like, I don't know. I just want to be able to be a support for her and know that she doesn't have to rush to do anything, right? Like, I don't want her to sit around and fucking scroll through TikTok in her bed all day.
Right.
I guarantee that shit ain't gonna be popping off.
Totally.
But as far as her determining what her life goals are, bro, I'm fucking 45 and I'm still trying to figure that out, bro. Like, Dope Dad Podcast, baby.
Let's go, baby!
Here we go, you know?
Yeah.
But the reality is, like, bro, she might not know that shit for another 15, 20, 30 years.
And that's fine.
You know, as long as she's productive and she feels fulfilled. That's like my biggest desire for my kids. I want them to be happy. Because how many of us fucking go through life, bro, unhappy? Just like doing the monotonous bullshit, this like tedious day-to-day tasks. Like, dude, a lot of people are not fulfilled.
Right.
The monotony of life,
and you
dude, is a
can't
killer.
Almost admit that. And the pressure, the ability to come out and say something like that, it's a lot. You know,
or just to make a change, right? Like, so you've been doing hospitality for how long? And you're like, yo, dude, there's more to me than this, right? Like, I want there to be.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I want there to be something more to what I've got going on in life. And like, this excites you. This is interesting to you. This is something that you pursue for education, for personal gratification, because it's like exciting to you. And you're like, hey, I could do that. I could make some wine. I know enough about it. I know that I like it. I'm excited to talk about it and share it with people. The more excited you are, the better off this is going to do in the market. And not to mention, it's not like you're sourcing entry level shit. Like, this is incredibly high quality production and grapes. And we're just going through the costing here from the bottle to the cork to the label all the way down. I mean, you have to apply yourself to pursue something like this. So the reality is, here you are at 38.
Yep.
And you're like, hey, this is something that I enjoy. This makes me happy. This is fulfilling. Hopefully on the back end, it'll be a revenue stream for you so that you can actually pursue this as full-time employment. But I mean, dude, we're 40 years old, finally starting to tamper with the things that make us happy. And that's just what I want for my kids. I want them to find happiness, and I want them to find it at an earlier age. I don't want them to have to wait as long as we did. Because the things that are fulfilling to me and make me happy are not the things that I've been doing for the last 30 years of my life.
Oftentimes it's to appease people. Oftentimes you do things to appease people. But to your point, like, you just want them to be happy, and just relaying that point to like, hey, there's no set thing that I am expecting of you. Go out, feel, touch, experience the world, and live it. And live it. And whatever that spark is of yours, fan that flame. You know, oftentimes people are in such a rush to be liked or needed or wanted, and they don't realize that you are liked and needed and wanted when you have a flame. That's when you attract people.
Yeah.
And the way you have a flame is by finding your spark and then fanning that goddamn flame, by building it brick by brick. It's not by, oh, I'm a TikToker, I'm an influencer. That's stupid. That's so dumb. But when you find whatever that thing is about you that makes you come alive, and find a worthwhile cause to pursue, I suppose.
I have a TikTok, you motherfucker.
You son of a bitch. I follow it.
Hardly an influencer.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I don't know. So as far as schools, man, she talked a little bit about a couple different schools. She's real big into music. She's real big into like, I guess that side of art, and she's real big into like homes and decor and like fashion and shit like that. So, I mean, dude, she's young and she's beautiful. I'm sure she'll find her way. G is so fucking smart, bro. Like way smarter than any child her age that I've ever encountered, she's witty. She's like funny. Dude, she's gonna be a handful for somebody, bro, because she's fucking awesome, man. And she's fun and funny to be around. Super like mad artistic, bro. She does all sorts of cool shit.
Yeah.
I found out that she was like hustling kids at school. She was finding out what kids want pictures of. Yeah. And she was like drawing pictures and selling them and shit. I was talking to Karen and she was like, yeah, they were gonna go to Target after school, and Karen's like, G's got some money. I'm like, how's G got money? She's like, oh, she's been selling art. She got like $85. I'm like, bro, what? Fucking awesome. Side hustler. I'm like, yo, let me dap you up real quick. That's so dope. Cool, man.
That's fantastic.
And then Krisha, I mean, dude, she's a kid, bro. She's trying to have fun and meet friends, man. She doesn't really have a care in the world. She's super into music and just kind of finding out what makes her clock tick, man. And she's amazing personality and just happy to be around people. She loves to laugh, and she's always kicking it with her homies, man. So awesome. Both of them are switching schools this year, man, which will be exciting. It's like a bigger campus, bigger school. So exciting for them, terrifying for me. School in general, I think, is just scary now with, you know, school shootings and drugs and all sorts of shit, right? Jesus. Like, I mean, that's like a whole nother fucking conversation. I feel like I brought it up on a couple podcasts already, but it's scary to think about, dude. And honestly, like, where we used to do like, you know, stop, drop, and roll drills, or, you know, DARE, the drug abuse resistance education stuff. Right. They're doing like active shooter drills where they like barricade doors, and you know, it's like, it's a different fucking world. And so trying to understand that and not overreact to a bunch of shit I can't control is kind of an obstacle, I guess. And then I was watching a video earlier today too, and it was like, yo, schools where you learn all the worst shit, all the worst habits, how to lie, how to steal, how to cheat.
It has very little to do with education. It's like learning to be in like a social status. That's mostly what school is about, and that's unfortunate, but what I found to be true, at least.
Yeah. So, yeah. I feel like I probably would not do well in school now because I was so careless and reckless as a youth. And I didn't do well in school, you know, when I went anyways, because of the same things. But it's, I think you get out of it what you're looking for, right? Sure. And most children are looking for companionship, some type of like social group and acceptance, right? Sure. So if they're looking for it, they're going to find it. Who they find it in, I guess, is up to the child. You know, going to jail, man. Like, I've been locked up, and being locked up, it's like, yo, it's school for criminals. You know, it's like, yo, what do you do on the outs? And they're like, oh, I do this, or I have this, or I got this. Grab my number if you want that. And so you don't come out of jail reformed. You just come out of jail with like more connections. But most people don't go to jail on their own free will to find forgiveness and to reform. Right. It doesn't happen like that. Right. So.
Yeah, I have nothing to say there.
Thank God. Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for you, man. Yeah. So let's jump over real quick, man, and talk about let's talk about the family, man. I want to talk about the family involvement with the kiddo, man. We touched on it briefly. You guys are leaving. You're going out of town. What's the level of involvement with the family? Because I know being married to a Hispanic family, they're like heavily involved. And there's a lot of things that were very Mexican that I didn't know shit about that I got hip to pretty quick. And one of them is like when my kids were teething. My wife's abuela, which is her grandma, had this like OG, like, dude, it was like a container like this, you know, like a little vial that had like old prunes in it and some type of herbs and tequila. And it was just, it looked like it was from like the Great Depression, bro. And so when the kids were teething, they were fussy, she would like dip her old ass finger in there and like gum them down, bro. And they would like drool like crazy, and they're like out cold. So there was like
I wish there was some sort of remedy like that.
Bro, there was like the coolest shit that they were doing that actually helped us along our journey, man. Like when we were facing the miscarriages, dude, her same thing, OG abuela grandma was like, yo, we need to boil walnut husks and make a tea out of it. And then you're going to drink this tea and you'll be able to conceive like pretty much right away. And we fucking did.
Wow.
Bro, it was like the craziest shit. So anyways, like when the family is involved sometimes, bro, like it's over the top.
Oh, beyond.
Sometimes it's a little too much. And then there's other times like that where I'm like, yo, thank God they came through in the clutch.
Oh my God, 100%. I mean, right at the beginning, everyone was so eager about us having a kid that they didn't at one point in time believe it to be true. And I had to continually remind my wife, like, this is going to happen. This will happen. We will have a kid. And once it finally came to be true, everyone was eager to overstep. My mom, my older sister, but also, mind you, my in-laws are wonderful, and we were the last of her sons to, have a kid. And so really they stepped in as much as needed, but they were never quite overbearing in that sense.
That's huge.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. But I still I feel like all the dust hasn't settled, and even though I'm learning my steps, there's always something new to be gained every day.
You ever had to set any boundaries? Like
No.
in that situation?
No, not
Your side of the family or hers?
More so with my family.
Yeah.
And I love them to death, but I was like, I got this. I'm not a little kid. My wife, my daughter, that's my priority now. I love you, but this is my family. This is my priority. And that is kind of what I had to stand by. And my wife has been so supportive in that, and for that, I love her.
Love that. Similar situation, like story. Before we even touch on that, can you imagine when Layla says that to you or to your wife? That they're starting their own family and they got it?
Yeah.
And it's her and her husband and her child?
Bitch! No, I'm kidding.
She's just like, I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need you guys here.
It's going to
right
happen.
now.
It's going to happen.
Right?
Accepting that is.
And that's when a motherfucker cries, bro.
Yeah.
That's like the lip quiver, just like the snot
Yeah.
nose, like, ah.
Yeah.
In the car, crying, bro.
Yeah, but I hope that we are still friends and still around to talk about it one day. So.
I ain't going nowhere, bro.
Neither am I. Just for that.
Heard that, man. Yeah, I remember my parents coming down from Seattle. I think we just had one kid. It might have been two kids at the time, but I suck with time in general, man. Like, thank God for cameras and time-stamped photos, because I'm like, dude,
100%.
This was 5 years ago?
100%.
But, my mom had, like, given the kids some candy or some chocolate or some old shit that I didn't want them to have. And so I was like, yo, don't do that, man. And she was like, yo, it's okay. I'm grandma. Like, I'm not down here that often. Like, it's fine. And so I'm, like, immediately, like, on the defense and conflicted, right? Like, she's got a good point. But I already said fucking no. Like, I set the boundary, right? So I had to, like, double down and, like, pulled her aside and was just like, yo, bro, like, no. Not okay, man. Like, I already said no. Like, you're undermining my position here. Like, can't have it. And it was tough for her. Like, she got emotional right away. And I got emotional right away, too, bro. Like, that's super tough, man.
Yeah.
But it has to happen, right? Because if you don't do it, man, then you'll never do it.
Right.
And if you let a couple of those situations present themselves, man, and you never address them, then they just become the norm. You know what I mean? Totally. And it's not like she's a repeat offender of, like, trying to do, forbidden shit by any means. It was just that one particular circumstance that, like, I recall that was tough for me, because I was like, yo, I'm faced with a situation right here where I have to set a boundary, man. And that was like, that's conflicting, bro. That's really tough.
I bet. I did that multiple times with my mom, and they just come from a different generation. When we first had Layla, she was like, I'm going to move close and live next to you, and I'll be taking care of Layla all the time. She can't operate a cell phone. Like, I'm like, how the hell are you going to take care of her? What if something happens?
Shit, yeah.
And it was very tough. And, like, I didn't have to kind of explain that circumstance to her, but yeah, she shortly thereafter knew that, like, I love you, but.
Bro, I got the funniest fucking story. So
Please.
I come home from work, and dude, this is like 5 years ago, at least. And I come through the door, and my youngest daughter greets me, and she's got a thing about this size, and it's like Coffee Mate. And she's just fucking drinking mint Coffee Mate out of a little fucking container.
What the hell?
And I'm like, what? what are you doing, man?
Right.
She's like, oh, Grandpa got it for me. I'm like,
Okay.
what? And so I like walk further in the house. I look on the counter. There's another one. And G had already housed the whole thing. Bro, it's gone. The whole fucking thing's gone. And I talked to Carradine, and she's got one in her hand that's like half gone too. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on here? And they're like, Grandpa got it for us. It's flavored milk. I was like, the coffee creamer is not flavored. It's not flavored milk, my guys. Like, you guys are drinking like heavy cream and sugar with like some fucking mint flavoring and food coloring. I'm like, did you drink this whole thing? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna shit everywhere. There's gonna be chaos. And Krisha's got half hers down, Carradine's drinking hers, and they're just like, they kind of like pause and they're like, should we not drink this? I'm like, dude, no, done. Like, cancel all that, like toss all that shit.
Yeah.
So I called my dad, I'm like, yo, dude, did you give my kids fucking coffee creamers? And he's like, oh, the flavored milk? Yeah. I'm like, you gave each of my kid a whole Coffee Mate fucking coffee creamer to take to the face, and he's just like, I mean, it's flavored milk. Do you prefer I don't do that? And I'm like, yeah, bro, please don't ever do that again. Like, my God, dude. Like, holy shit, they're all going to be in like diabetic comas in the next like 15 minutes, dude. This is insane. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's situations like that too, man, where like, obviously they're fine, they're healthy, you know,
right.
Nothing catastrophic happened. But I'm like, dude, like, what, bro? I would never.
That's so funny.
But, you know,
yeah.
I lived through worse, you know,
Yeah.
and here I am.
Yeah.
So I guess that's parenting too, right? Is like finding out what makes sense for you and what you and your wife would do.
100%.
Could you ever imagine giving Layla a fucking Coffee Mate coffee creamer to take to the face?
I gotta tell you, we try to feed her as best as we can. And at her 1 year birthday, and this beautiful cake, I forgot who made it, but it was a gift. It was a beautiful gift. It was designed like Miss Rachel. The whole theme of the birthday was Miss Rachel. And everyone is gathered around us as she, you know, was sat on her chair to eat her cake. You expect her, like, we don't give her sugar. You expect her to be like, oh my God, here's something I've never had. Here's sugar. And she has maybe 20 or so people watching her as she eats this cake, and she's so calm and delicately just eating the cake. She's eating the cake, and I'm like, why isn't she freaking out? Why isn't she so hyped about this? And that freaked me out. I'm like, okay, you're done.
Yeah.
This is done.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
So she didn't devour the cake? She's not
didn't.
into chocolate
No,
and
I
sweets
pulled that shit out. No.
Bro,
well,
you're
she
like, move the fuck
is.
out of the way. I'll show you how to do it. You
Yes.
like, grab it like a Neanderthal and shove it in your face.
Much. She is. I just, we just try to temper it. You know?
Yeah.
That's it. We just try to temper that.
Yeah. Man, it's tough. There's so much shit that when I was like a young parent, I was like, I'll never do this. I'll never do that. You know, cell phones not even considered until they're 13. I'll never give my kid a tablet at the table. Like, you know, I set all these like goals for myself that are super achievable. Like, it's not hard to do that shit until you're in that situation, and then it's goddamn impossible. And you're like, oh my God, I never wanted to be that parent, but I have to be that parent.
Yeah.
Like, I have to.
Do you want Miss Rachel right now? Fine.
Dude, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
And so I think my judginess towards other parents who are going through some shit, I'm like, yeah, bro, like that's parenting.
Yeah.
You know, like I try to avoid those situations, but the reality is, man, like, bro, sometimes you just need a bailout. Sometimes life gets crazy. Sometimes the kids are inconsolable. Sometimes you need 5 minutes to talk to your wife without interference, and
Totally.
that shit's really hard.
I will say, out of the blue, an entire random point, a thing that I'm noticing on a day-to-day basis now as a relatively new parent, like the cries are so much more like emotional. And I'm like, dude, it's not that bad. I'm so sorry. Please, what can I do to make this better? And I'm like, oh. And it's so funny because at a moment's notice, like, she will have like a distraction come her way, and all of a sudden she's better. But those cries, man, they break my fucking heart.
She's testing you, my boy.
Bro.
She's testing you. See what she can get away with, man. She's like, I'm going to switch the pitch up a little bit. I'm going to let the waterworks. I'm going to do the gasp for breath cry. I'm going to do the gasp for breath cry to see if I can get him to give it to me.
What do you want? I will give it to you. Dude.
That's funny shit.
Yeah, it's incredible, but it it is one of the greatest joys that I've had on this earth. And it sounds dramatic or extreme to say that, but in all reality, it's really true. It's really true. I mean, I think what we're put on this earth for is to leave things better than we found them, and having someone there to unconditionally love you and look up to you and see you as that hero, that father figure. It makes you want to be a hero in her eyes and their eyes. And it's been so much fun. It's been so much fun.
You know, it's cool, man. I think I heard it recently, too, is that children inspire you to be a better man, and your spouse holds you accountable to being a better man. You know what I'm saying? So it truly, like, for that family unit to come together, I mean, I feel like there's a dynamic that will start to make sense. As far as the unconditional love, bro, I mean, I feel like when you become a parent, I don't know, it just like unlocks some shit. You're just like, oh, boom, purpose found. Like, that was my purpose. It all makes sense now. Like, you just unlock this crazy chest and you're like, oh, it was here the entire time. This is my calling. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
And so now I can like get after life.
Totally.
You know, but the reality is, until you have a kid of your own that is half of you,
right,
I feel like it's hard to understand and wrap your head around the concept.
A thing I will say to you that I find ironic is that although I will work till my face turns blue, I think that becoming a father has made me a worse employee, not a better one. Because selfishly, when you work, the employer wants to know, like, I'm here for you and for the goals and mission of this company. As a father, I'm like, you get all of me for this time to this time.
Yeah.
After that time, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like literally fuck all the way off.
Yeah.
And for that, you know, I don't know. I just wish that I had things better balanced out beforehand, but there's no point in wishing for a better, you know, history. I can't change the past. I'm just trying to better shape what's in front of me now.
Hey, you're not a worse employee, bro. You're just a better father and a better husband. Those are like your first steps in becoming a more consistent foundation for your family, right? A better support for your queen,
Totally.
A more present father for your daughter, and you're setting boundaries, right? Like you're like, yo, I'm comfortable allocating my time to the people who deserve my time, who are going to benefit from my time.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't say it's being a worse employee when you're there. You're still giving it 110%. You just are more mindful of when you're there because there's other shit going on.
Oh,
you know what's crazy, man? Like the school concerts and shit like that, bro. Once those start popping off, and there's like little events, if it's, you know, gymnastics or cheer or, you know, tennis or whatever, bro, I never miss those fucking things ever.
I love that.
I don't think I fucking missed one, bro. It doesn't matter what I got going on. I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna be there. Like I'm going to my kids' whatever recital.
Right.
And I was watching some on my phone the other day with wifey. We were like scrolling through videos and shit, like immediately just like getting emotional, like watching all this stuff. And they're fucking awful, bro. They're so bad. they're so fucking bad, bro. It's like pure torture sitting there, you know. But you know, the first thing the kids do is they walk out on stage and they're like, you know, they're all like, you know, busy ants, you know, in a line and shit. And the teacher like, you know, points out to the audience and the kids look out there and they just like scan, bro. And they're like looking until they make eye contact. And then they're, you know, they're like, I've got support. They're here. And I don't know. I think that does something for like showing up for the kids, man. Show up for them little motherfuckers, man. Be there. Be present.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If nothing else, man, like let them know that like they're a priority in your day, bro. Makes a huge difference.
That's
so
awesome.
I don't know, man. Like just for what it's worth, bro. If she says she got something going on, show up. Also, don't make your wife go alone because that shit sucks. You gotta sit with some other fucking people you don't even know and try to pretend like you care about their kid who's singing off key and shit.
Nope.
You know,
none of that.
You're like mine's a little one.
If anyone would know someone singing off key, it would be Sarah.
Mm-hmm. She still sing too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
Oh, that's fucking cool, dude. When Mars was like a young mom, like right after birth, dude, she was like, she would always like hum and sing to the girls, like this one song in particular that I think her dad used to hum to her when she was a kiddo. and like super fucking emotional, bro. And every once in a while, like I'll just reflect on that, and I'm like, oh, dude, that's so cool. It's like something like comforting.
Oh, yeah.
About that, you know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Yeah, sorry, I stole the mic from you. So she's still singing?
You didn't steal shit. Yeah, dude. She sings all the goddamn time. She has a great voice, and she'll let you know if you're sharp or you're flat. That's the only reason I said that. But yeah.
Are you sharp or flat?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. Yeah.
Overachiever.
I can't keep a tune to save my fucking life.
Yeah.
Even in the shower. So, yeah.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
You make up for it in dance moves?
Hell yeah. Especially
Liar. I was at your wedding,
especially after a bottle of wine.
Heard
You
that
were
shit.
at my wedding.
I was at your wedding, bro.
Yes, you were. And that was a great goddamn day.
I've actually got some really cool photos from your wedding. I should show you after we're done here.
That I've yet to see.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Not a ton. I'm more of like a live in the moment kind of guy. So if there's something going on, if there's a situation or anything happening, very, very few times do I have my phone out. I'm normally just like registering everything and taking everything in. I try to live in the moment as much as possible.
I have a question for you. Of our interview and of our time together that we've worked together side by side, when did it click for you, oh gosh, he is really about what he said? Like when did it come together that he meant he walks the walk?
For you?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still waiting for it to happen, bro.
Damn!
I'm just playing, bro. You have such a kind and generous heart that I think oftentimes it's misinterpreted as disingenuine or not sincere.
Sure.
But I mean, dude, you and I clicked pretty quick out the gates, bro. Like within a couple months of working with you, I mean, you and I had a camaraderie and a work relationship that was already pretty unparalleled, right? Like we had the same goal, we had the same mission, the same things interested us, and we were both passionate about common goal. And so I don't think that it took long before I started to see tremendous value in, from an employee standpoint, but the friendship probably came before that. You know what I mean? Because
Cool.
I don't know. I like being around you, bro. Like you're honest and you're genuine, and I think you also like open up and show me a side of you that a lot of other people might not get the opportunity to see. Because I don't like to judge fucking people, and I think that hopefully creates a safe place for people to be themselves and let their guard down and feel like disarmed. Because who the fuck am I to judge somebody else? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so if anything, you and I can form like a cool partnership and work together towards a goal. And I know that you have tenacity and integrity, and you're going to work towards this goal and not give up, right? Like you're pretty ferocious when it comes to a task, bro.
Yeah.
And you're mad competitive, bro.
Yes.
So I think if there's a goal, man, like I put Wheezy on my team, bro, and we know we're going to get some shit done.
Yes, sir. I got to tell you that as a leader, as a manager, a lot of a style that I hope to emulate comes from you, and the thought process of learning and teaching and taking a power and turning it into a superpower is fundamentals that I learned from you.
That's awesome, man. Thanks,
I
bro.
just want to thank you. And I let you know that I appreciate you.
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of that too, man. Like it's parenting shit, right? Like you help people recognize strengths that maybe they didn't know that they possess. You help them, see an outcome that maybe they didn't visualize earlier.
Right.
And being a part of that, not like the driving force for it, but helping them see that in themselves is fucking awesome. That's what like struck me with leadership, man. Like helping to inspire others to believe in themselves is huge, man. And obviously that's like a direct relation to parenting,
Totally.
Like my kids come through and they're just like, hey, will you tie my shoe? I'm like, did you try?
Excuse me? Yeah.
Like, I'll do fucking anything for
Sure.
you, but show me that you tried.
Totally.
Show me that I'm not just a bailout for you.
Right.
Like, I'll
Right.
do it with you.
Totally.
I'll help you through it all.
Right.
But bro, you got to try first.
Right.
Like, absolutely not.
100%.
And I'm pretty direct like that too. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, nah, bro,
Right.
ain't fucking happening.
Yeah.
We'll do it together. Or like, show me that you tried and you can't do it, and I'll show you how I get it done.
Right.
But yeah, I do like working with people and helping people and showing people. But man, when something clicks for somebody, especially a kid, you're like, oh, dude, that was amazing. It's so worth it.
That's
like
awesome.
the first time a kid jumps into a pool off a diving board, or first time they ride a bike.
Right.
You know, first time they like land a flip or whatever, man. Like, dude, it's crazy.
It's crazy you say all of that, because all I can think of now, this is how early I am in all of this, is like, she just took her first fucking steps.
Which is huge.
It's huge. It's huge. And let me tell you a very weird thing that I found to be cool. Layla was born at 8:11 a.m. The first steps I ever saw her take in the hotel this past weekend as we were in Vegas was in room 8011.
No way.
Fucking true story.
That's so cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. And like, dude, she is such a performer. I got to tell you, as we're in Vegas, the reason we went as a family up there together is for one of Sarah's friends. She was a flower girl. At this time, she couldn't yet fully walk. She couldn't just, direct her steps and do those things. But she was guided down through like a remote control, old school Porsche. And bro,
that's pretty cool.
It was so dope. It was so cool. But as she's going up and she's being driven down and I'm next to her making sure she doesn't fall, as she comes close to everyone, like a little model, she's just waving. And as she sees the crowd, she raises both of her hands and goes, "Yay!" And
that's awesome,
just
dude.
who taught her that? And then she sees her mom. She goes, "Mama!" And it was like, dude, everyone lost their goddamn mind. It was pretty cool.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. Walking, bro. It's like once they're laying, like I was saying, for the first year, there's only like so much you can do. So you're like, dude, I wish she would just like hurry up and walk or like do something, like do something interactive. And then they start walking and you're like, fuck, I can't take that back. They're everywhere. They're everywhere they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And then some. You're like, man, once you hit like a certain milestone,
bro,
there's no retracting that. So take your time getting to these markers because
100%.
It's giving you extra time to emotionally and mentally and physically prepare.
I never thought hurry up and walk. Let me just say that. I never thought that. If I ever saw that come to be, I mean, obviously we want to make sure that mechanically, physically, mentally, they're okay, but no.
How crazy are those fucking tests, dude? Like when you're pregnant, like when she's pregnant and you're going to those hospital visits and they're like, all right, now we're going to test for this. And now you're going to test for this. And now we're going to test for this. I'm like, holy shit, dude. I'm just like biting nails. I'm like, God, dude. God. Like, I don't even know if I want to know. Like every single hospital visit's like fucking stress, dude. And
100%.
now we're going to hook her up to this. Oh, something here is undetectable. We're going to transfer her over here and test for this. I'm like, is that bad? Is that good? Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Speak normal.
1,000%. You also, a thing they don't talk about is once the kid is born, you're in the hospital for the next couple of days.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
They don't talk about that shit. They don't talk about you're in a kind of a probation period just to make sure the kid is okay. And to your point, every single one of those tests takes place. And they say, do you know how to get 8 hours of sleep as a new parent? Be the dad.
That's fucking cold. Bro, that's fucking cold.
But it's crazy to get adjusted to all of those points and all those steps in their life.
Well, dude, I mean, to double down on that too. So you're at the hospital. They have to, be able to attach to the breast. They have to be able to feed. There's multiple things that have to go. You have to be able to successfully change diapers with those weird little crazy shits that are alien and whatever.
I made the nurse do all of those goddamn changes.
Bro, so 2 days later, you're filling out the paperwork. They're checking you out. You got your bags. You got your diaper bag. Car pulls up.
I'll never forget
And they put
that.
you in a car
I'll never
with a
forget
fucking
that
baby
feeling.
human. And they're like,
I'll
okay,
never forget
go home
that.
and you're a parent now. And you're just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, which one of the nurses is coming to the house? Because we
never
don't know what the
forget
fuck
that.
we're doing. It was so much time, but it was not enough time, And I remember my wife being in the back with the kids. And I'm driving. I'm just like, yo, I need I want a fucking Hummer with guards all the way around. I want a Gatling gun. I want electric shit. I want run flat tires. I mean, precious cargo, baby. I'm pulling out of there. I must be going 8.
Yeah.
Get on the fucking highway, bro. I'm probably going 40. Man.
That's it.
It's so suspenseful. It's so suspenseful.
But it was so much fun. It was so much fun. It was so weird to say that in that way. But we slept in the living room because we didn't want to leave her side. We just
yeah.
wanted to make sure. And I use the term we slept very loosely. We didn't sleep. But to see that beautiful bundle of joy just open her eyes and look at you, and it just gives you such a spirit of like, wow, we did this. Mm-hmm. Let's keep doing it.
Let's pop up out the crib with like bedhead and shit, and they're just like hanging on the side, and they're like, good morning. You're just like, yo, I'm about to make today my bitch, bro.
It's
like,
crazy.
Let's go.
It's crazy.
Let's go. She eating solid food and all that stuff, obviously, at this point,
Steak,
right?
chicken, salmon, you name it.
That's what's up.
She loves it.
Yeah,
she has great taste because I'm going to set a very high fucking bar. I'm going to set a very high standard.
You know what? So I did that.
Yeah.
I'm in hospitality, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate good food and good beverage.
Yeah.
Bro, that shit's expensive.
It is.
Life
is expensive.
Dude.
Life is
expensive. So expensive.
Yeah.
So I came home, I picked up the girls. I'm like, hey, I got to stop by work. We're going to circle back to work. We stopped through. I'm like, hey, chill at this table real quick. I got to handle like 2 different things. I'll be back in 20 minutes. Get an after school snack, something to eat. Bro, I come back. Sure enough, the girls are eating filet mignons and shit, bro. Like napkin tucked in here, just like cutting up their fillets. I'm like, dude, I said after school snack. Like, what? Are you shitting me? I got to pay for that, bro. So it's like an after school snack. I'm like, $150, man, on my way. I'm like, damn, dog. So that's crazy, man. Like, careful what you do because you can't undo that. Once somebody's had the finer things, decor and things of that nature, you'll never go back, bro.
That's
you can never really settle for less once you've had the finer
That's
things.
Okay.
Well,
that is
you say that now, but you'll be paying for that.
And that's okay.
All right.
That's a debt to life. Life is an unrelenting bitch, and you learn to cope with it. You learn to become better or suffer the consequences. And that's what I've learned over the past years. Like, life is hard. You adapt, you change, you evolve. That's as human beings. That is what we're meant to do. And yeah.
I just talked to somebody the other day about kids. They're like, yo, when we're ready, like, what, I'm going to finish school, I'm going to do this, and then we'll probably be ready and we'll have kids at that point in time. I'm like, man, you're lost in the sauce.
Right.
Because you don't get to choose when that shit happens.
Right.
If you're fucking, at some point they're going to get pregnant.
Totally.
And sometimes if you're fucking, they still don't get pregnant. And then you got to work at it, right? So you don't really get to choose when you get pregnant. I think like very few people are successful in planning out a pregnancy and actually make that happen. Like that's some crazy
1,000%.
mathematical shit. And I know that it does happen to people. Certainly didn't happen to me. Certainly didn't happen to you. And the majority of the people that I know. But also, when you get pregnant, when you become a parent, bro, you just figure it out. Like, everything changes. I don't know. People are like, yo, when we're ready. I'm like, you're never going to be fucking ready. You have no idea what you're even getting into.
Yeah.
And then at some point it just happens and you're like, okay, well, I guess now I do this instead of this. Or now this is my journey and this is my path, or whatever the case may be, right? Like, you make adjustments and amendments and you try to trek through life the best way that you know how at that point in time.
Totally.
So I don't know. I think when people are trying to plan a pregnancy, I'm like, man, I guess there's a scenario out there where that works, but not in the world that I live in.
No.
Not with anybody I've ever seen.
No. And if you do, good on you. But it's so tough, dude. I can't articulate how it is going to feel.
You just looked at that so somber.
I did.
You're just like, no. It happens so quick, doesn't it?
It did.
Bill's hitting us with the wrap up. We still got to talk about wine and stuff, bro.
Yeah. Here, let's change the topic. Let's talk about wine.
All right. So this is the coolest shit because for our entire hospitality partnership, you've been such a cork dork. You've been so into wine.
That's so funny you say that, and I'll tell you why.
You went on a tequila kick for quite some time.
Sure.
And you were like a tequila ambassador. I don't even want to say a salesperson. You're like an ambassador. Like,
sure.
You're showcasing what tequila has to offer. There's something very personal about the way that you speak about beverage and to try to get people excited. When you were talking to Bill and I just now, I mean, you're obviously like 10 times more advanced than either one of us. I think you use some weird hieroglyphics and hand signs that I don't even know what they mean, but you're so educated and so passionate about wine, man. To see you have your own label. And I was at Trevor's and I saw your wine on the shelf, which was amazing. I'm like getting a bottle for my wife. I'm like, yo, this is Sam's wine right here. I'm like, no shit. I like pulled up the label. I'm like, this is my boy's wine right here.
Yes, sir.
And then like 2 bottles over with somebody else I knew, but I'm like, yo, this is the coolest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Talk about it, bro. How this whole thing happened.
100%. God, there's so much I could say. I'm trying to give you the fucking Reader's Digest.
Do Cliff Notes, bro.
All right, Cliff Notes. Wrap up. All right, heard. The reason it has a French name is because I went to a French culinary school. I thought it would take great tenacity to name or call something of the heart, because if you knew me, if you knew who I was as a person, to declare that something is from the heart was a very bold statement. For it to be that open and that honest and that sincere, it just means something.
That's
you know?
dope.
And that I thought would be an idea that was compelling enough to share with the world. Then my thought came to be of mentors that I've had in my life. Like, they went around the world, they did a special barrel here and a special barrel there. When you think of that from a practical standpoint, that is such a goddamn pain in the ass, and the return on investment is nowhere near worth it. So I said, let me focus. Let me go deeper on one area in one region. And for that, I specialize in wines from the Pacific Northwest. So from Oregon, from Washington,
Northwest,
that is my
man.
shit. That is
love
what
it.
I do. And I'm proud of it. And as someone who is deemed an expert in a topic, I will tell you that you and I would never travel anywhere and not drink their wine. So as an American, as a veteran, I am proud of American wine, and I think these wines are some of our best foot forward in terms of viticulture, and that's it. That's it.
So you got, what, 4 varietals here?
I have 4 varietals altogether across the board. There's 6 different labels. And yes, I'm super proud of them. They're going to evolve and change. Ideally, they're going to either be from the Pacific Northwest, potentially California. Who knows?
I love this for you, man. This is so cool.
Thank you very much. One thing real quick. Sorry.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah. Real quick, I just want to say that, when our time came to be, like when we worked together, I thought of myself as as a wine I could wax poetic about. I told a 2-3 line spiel that I was like, oh my God, can I sell this? And I don't know if 3 sentences compels anyone to buy something, but once upon a time with a full section came a manager for me at the time who said, hey, go say hi to this guy who's sitting at our bar. And I had a full section at that time, was making sure my section was running properly. And for those of you who are not in the industry, you're like, what the hell is he talking about? A section is a designated area full of guests who are in a dining room that I am directly in charge of or responsible for. And so as I walked by this guy, Owen and I worked at a pub at this time. And so to see someone in a 3-piece suit was very unusual. And to see someone in a 3-piece suit with a big gold pin on his lapel was even more unusual. And at that time, it was around 2014, is when the documentary had come out. And I was like, hey, man, is that what I think it is? He said, yes, it is what you think it is. And very sarcastically, very facetiously, I was like, all right, master, sell me wine. And he taught me a very important lesson. He said, don't judge a book by its cover, but by the binding on the book. What kind of watch do they have? What kind of shoes are they wearing? And then it taught me the importance of knowing a producer and understanding how to talk about a monetary equivalent or where to go up or down, and then gave me this ever so gentle nudge to get started with this program, with the Core to Master Sommelier program. And so I did that, but I did that while I worked for or with Owen. I worked at a other place to learn a skill set. And anyway, that's where it came to be.
This is fucking exciting.
Yeah.
I'm totally taking one of those home for my wife.
You're taking all of them
She's
home.
She's gonna love it.
No, you're taking all of them home. All 4 of those are yours.
That's what's up, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that.
Hell
dog.
yeah, brother.
At some point in your future, I assume you're gonna open a bottle of wine with your daughter. maybe for her 21st birthday, maybe before. What's that bottle? Just so I know.
Well, I'll tell you a very special bottle that I procured from before she was born. It is 2009 Clos Saint Hune from Trimbach. This is the most famous vineyard in France for Riesling. And I consumed a bottle on my wedding day, and I purchased another bottle for her to consume on hers. And
like at her wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So 2009 Clos Saint Hune Trimbach.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love you.
I love you back, man. Thank you for all this, dude. We could go on for 7, 8, 9 hours, bro.
I sure know that.
You obviously have to come back.
I would love
in the
to
next
come back.
year and a half, 2 years, 3 years. Your daughter's going to go through so many different changes, and you're going to go through so many different phases of fatherhood, man. Like, I'm so excited to continue to be like a soundboard for you, bro. When you call me stressed, frustrated, happy, excited, share birthdays, all those things, bro.
Thank you, buddy.
Love you, bro.
I love you.
Thanks so much for fucking being here, man.
And my pleasure.
For everybody out there, buy this wine. Where can they buy this wine?
They
Is there a
can buy
website?
it
Can they
at
buy it on a website?
DecorWines.com. The website will be up and live by the end of the year to be able to procure the wine. But for now, if you live in Arizona, it's at Trevor's, it's at AJ's, it's at a handful of restaurants, including Flint. It's at Wrigley Mansion. And that's a few that I can think of at the moment.
More on the way, man. Buy the wine, drink the wine, support local, support Wheezy. To everybody out there who's listening, thanks for joining, for watching. Sorry you had to look at us. Thanks for being here. You know what to do, man. Like, subscribe, tell a mom, tell a dad, tell a kid, tell a friend. Until then, drink Decor and stay dope. Thank you for joining us on the Dope Dad Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to share it with a friend. You can support the show by giving a like, sharing, and subscribing, and you can find us on YouTube or wherever you're getting your podcast fix. If there's content you'd like to hear more of, please leave a comment. We'll make sure we try to get it in the show. Continue to tune in for more dope guests and real conversation.